Greetings to the Conscious Collective. How's everyone doing? Let's get a little light in here. I'm sorry, I am all over the place. Trying to do a lot of things today. Like I exist in one dimension. Like I'm operating in multi dimensions. And I am not fully prepared. So a little patience here as we get things underway with this last quarter moon reading. Greetings to the Conscious Collective. How is everyone doing? So right off the bat, we are going to be talking about the last quarter moon and specifically the Orion Starseed and how that energy is interplaying in the last quarter moon. And also with the Arcturians and how their energy is interacting with this last quarter moon. So thank you guys for joining me. I know I probably caught a lot of people off guard because I was supposed to be on earlier and then I moved it back. But I'm here now and I want to put this information out there. And so those are the two energies that we're going to be talking about today, the characteristics and traits behind the last quarter moon. This message is for the Starseeds. If you want the complete reading, please tap into that Patreon page. It is free, and you can have a complete reading on the colors and the crystals and the chakras that are being affected or can be affected by this last quarter moon. So before we begin, already know, if you've been following me, we already know that I've said often the moon is fake. A lot of people just run with that. Well, even though science says the moon is an artificial satellite. They've told you that many times that the moon is an artificial satellite. It's just a big reflector of the sun, which is divine energy, solar energy, one energy. It's just a big reflector of that energy. And so, but the problem is, I think that my problem with it is that it overstimulates that energy so that it affects the lower chakras more intensely. And our lower chakras are where we have our presence of being, where we have our willpower, where we have our defensiveness. All those things are good in the course of our journey here, but when you overstimulate them, they can be a little bit more intense. So I don't know why. Let's see if I'm live at all and see if I'm receiving. Just do a little bit of this. Okay, I am a part of the consciousness out there. Thank you to everyone that has been able to join me. I know I caught a lot of people off guard, but I am on now, and we're going to be talking again about the last quarter moon, and specifically the Orion characteristics and traits, and the Arcturians characteristics and traits regarding the last quarter moon. I was just talking about how that last quarter moon, or any moon, we tend to really, which is I guess part of this society, we give more acknowledgement to the moon than we do to the sun. The sun is where we receive our life, and we receive our divine connection through the solar. But what's funny is that in this society, there are more moon ceremonies or acknowledgements than there are sun. There should be, I guess because the sun is the daily thing and the moon tends to shift and find it more interesting. But the moon is only a reflective of the divine energy. It's just a big mirror. If not an artificial satellite used to soul cycle us. Some believe that the moon is used to soul cycle us. But we won't get into that. I'm not going to stay on long. I just want to do this reading And before I get started, I wanted to say that this is for the Starseeds. This is not for the 7 billion people on the planet. This is only for those that resonate with Starseed energy, that have feel like that they actually have a soul or calling from someplace other than this particular place and time. They have what we call starseed characteristics and traits, not unlike zodiac signs, but more broader. I don't even know the history of zodiac signs. Maybe it's some tends to be some Asian. Let's look it up really quick. Let me see. History of the zodiac. Oh, it goes all the way back to the Babylonians, who mapped the constellation along the sun's path and divided into 12 segments for astrology. The Egyptians and Greeks refined it, added mythological features, and linked it to personal birth charts. That's interesting. I thought it came from an Asian influence, but you learn something new every day. All right. But it is only based on your planetary position. Starseeds are based on characteristics from far away galaxies and universes and almost even other dimensions. And a lot of us resonate with that. And once we find that out, we connect more with the readings. It's almost like what if the reason you probably never have fitted in, or the reason things have not worked out the way you thought, is because your true place, who you truly are, your true have a true understanding of yourself. All right. And I always think about this, the story of the ugly duckling came to me, where it was, you had this, I don't know if you know the story of the ugly duckling, but I'll kind of recap it really quickly, where you had this duck who didn't look like the other ducks. And some way it got put into the mix of these other ducks. And all these other ducks made fun of it because it didn't look like them. All of them looked the same. But the ugly duckling had a long neck and a beak, and it just looked very awkward. It didn't really fit in, right? And then as it grew and it started to discover itself and discover others like it, it realized it was the most beautiful of swans and fowls, or whatever you want to call them, birds. It wasn't a duck. It was actually a swan. And so as starseeds, you have to understand that this doesn't work for everyone, right? This is not for the 7 billion people on the planet. This is for those few who have this innate feeling of being different. This is why things don't always work out the way you want them to work out, because you haven't really accepted your true calling and what you are completely. Now, we're way ahead of the game, right? We're talking about starseeds, light workers. This is not getting a lot of conversation out there in the matrix. It's knowledge, but it's not getting a lot of conversation because it doesn't serve the matrix needs. Okay? People are going to start, as people awaken, people are going to start to recognize this, and you guys are going to be way ahead of the game when you understand your starseed type, characteristics and traits, and how it plays out in your life. So it's about building the collective consciousness right now and connecting with those like you, and not trying to be the swan that fits in with the ducks and thinking that you're weird and that you're unusual. You're in the wrong group. You're in the wrong gathering, okay? You belong to a whole nother idea, and that will be coming clear the more and more you journey, the more you learn about yourself. So don't worry about fitting in. Don't worry about this doesn't make sense to a lot of people, okay? because it's going to resonate with you. The other thing I want to say before I get into the reading, and today we're talking about the Orion starseed characteristics and traits, and the Arcturians characteristics and traits, and how it relates to the last quarter moon. That energy moving through the last quarter moon, the reflection of the solar energy back into our energy makeup, our matrix. I wanted to also mention quickly about why I was thinking of why I get so excited. I love doing these readings. I mean, I do other things on the main page, and I kind of do anti-church things. I'm really against churches. I think they manipulate people and they stop you from your spiritual growth. They are quicksand, and people get trapped into them, and so you never really grow spiritually. I explain what starseeds are. I break down starseeds and have conversations about them on the main page. But I really like doing these readings. I really like to share this information. And I was kind of thinking about, why do I like these readings and why do I like to share this information? And for the simple fact is, this is how God communicates. I really feel like this is how God communicates to us. If God wanted to build a building, and however you see God, deity, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it, if it wanted to build a building, it would build a building. It would be sitting out there in space right there, and we'll be trying to get to it, right? It would be a building here on Earth that we have no understanding. I'm not talking about the pyramids. I'm talking about something we like, wow, this was built by something that made us. It will have pictures on there, something. The way God communicates is through God's creations. This is how God communicates, through its creation. This is why we should be outside. This is why we find peace outside. When you go inside to these places of worship, you feel dominated. You feel abused. I went to a church not too long ago, and everyone was crying and wailing. It sounded like hell. And they were begging for mercy. Mercy for what? For being human? For making mistakes? For trying to learn and grow? Right? And people think, well, God wants us to build a bigger church. If God wanted a church, he would build a church. He would make a church. It made a planet. It made a garden. Even in their own teachings, it was a garden. It wasn't a building. It was a garden. It was nature. This is how God communicates. This is how God connects through his own creations, through his animals, through his plants, through his trees, through his forests. It's all about outdoors. Through you. You are a part of the divine purpose and plan. And so we run into these buildings thinking that we're going to hear messages. We look down at these books. I'll give you a story. I'm with my son, and if you've been following me, you heard this before, right? I'm with my son, and we're looking for, I don't know, some fast food place or some restaurant he wanted to go to, and we're looking for it, and he's looking at his phone. And I'm looking around, and I'm like, oh, there it is, right? And he's like, no, it's not. I said, yes, it is. He's like, no, it's not. I said, look up. There it is. He's like, oh, this is how we're doing. We're looking at this Bible. We're looking at these books, these texts that are proposed to be the written word of God, and ignoring God in the universe, ignoring God in the plants, ignoring God. Look up. Stop looking down. If you're going to look anywhere, look inward. All right? But we want to look down in these books. We want to look at some other man and run away from how God communicates, how God connects. It's all about outdoors. It's all about nature. So that's why I love doing these transits, because it is the closest connection to how God communicates besides nature. If we look, the ancient people, actually, they always study the stars. They always study the universe. They always study, that what the seasons were doing. They were always connected. The shamans and all them always went out into the wilderness. Even in their Christian Bible, they go out into the wilderness. They don't go into buildings. They don't go into enclosed spaces. They go where they can connect. Take your shoes off. Connect with the earth. Hug a tree. Feel the presence of God in your life. That's why I love doing these transits. That's why I love, to try to understand how I should maneuver and how I should respond. And this is some of my insight that I get of how God communicates to us. It's not in a book, it's not in a building, it is in the creations of His making. And so that's why I get excited when I do these transits, and I'm gonna always love doing these transits. We got another transit later on today that we're gonna do, because two things are happening today. This is the last quarter moon, and also Mercury is entering Sagittarius. We're gonna do that around 3:30. I think I have it scheduled for 3:30. Please click to remind me if you want to be part of that conversation. We're going to be talking about that transit. But right now, we're talking about the last quarter moon, and we're talking about the two energies involved in the last quarter moon, the Orions and the Arcturians. And of course, they look like devils. They look like devils, right? Because they don't want you to have any part of this knowledge. So they already have brainwashed a lot of people to say, oh, those are demons. They are demonic, And it's really just how we perceive it. It's not even actually how they probably look, but it's our perception of how they look because of their characteristics and traits and the place that we have guidance that they came from. And we're going to use that to apply it to our own traits and characteristics. So some of us really, really connect with the Orion Starseeds and have that energy. And some of us really connect with the Arcturian energy. I like to say all of us have all these different types of energies in us. And so we all can take something from this, right? So let's look at it, right? During the last quarter moon. All right, let's look at where we at. This is about releasing the weight and preparing for the rise. Releasing the weight and preparing for the rise. The last quarter moon is the divine exhale, a moment of release, recalibration, and energetic clearing. It is the phase where we shed what cannot follow us into the next cycle. If the full moon we just talked about illuminated the truth, the last quarter moon will ask you a couple of questions. What will you do with that truth? If you had some things that were revealed to you in that last full moon, the last quarter moon is asking you, what will you do with that truth? What must you be released? What must be released so your path can open? These are questions that are coming to you in the last quarter moon. What outdated timelines are finally ready to fall away? Remember, the last quarter moon is about releasing that weight and preparing for the rise. This transit is deeply tied to clarity, responsibility, closure, and preparing. It's time to prepare for rebirth as we approach the new moon. For Starseeds, this energy hits differently. The last quarter moon activates codes of letting go, karmic reset, and personal sovereignty, especially for Orion Starseeds and Arcturian Starseeds, whose missions revolve around clearing the distortion and stabilizing energy fields by closing old cycles. Those are two main traits and characteristics of Orion Starseeds and the Arcturian Starseeds, right? Their mission, they are here with the purpose of clearing this distortion out and closing out those old cycles so we can move into new growth. So let's move into the Orion Starseeds. Orion Starseeds are said to be very determined. They said to have a lot of determination in them. Sometimes we interpret that as warrior energy, but it's not aggressive energy, it's just determination, okay? And so they have a lot of determination in them, right? So they're the master of the shadow, free to light. This moon activates them because they carry deep soul memory around polarity, conflict, shadow integration, and spiritual self-mastery. During this time, those traits and characteristics of the Orion Starseeds. It's going to reawaken your gift for choosing alignment over chaos. You're not going to want to deal with a bunch of chaos. You'd rather be in alignment, all right? Dissolving negative patterns. You may feel yourself not trying to repeat old negative patterns, all right? Releasing that karmic baggage. Dealing with those things that you've been hanging on to so long. You have that energy now as Orion Starseed to release those karmic baggage. And seeing the truth without illusion. Everyone says they want the truth, but really they want the illusion of the truth, because the truth can be very harsh. It can cut both ways. They said truth is a two-edged sword. I believe that very strongly, because it's not just about what you want. It also reveals some things negative against you too when you hear the truth. During this time, this last quarter moon, this phase activates the Orion's ability to untangle energetic knots internally and externally. Everything that we come in contact with physically, mentally, spiritually has energetic cords. And sometimes those cords can get very entangled and be connected. You take someone that's involved in a situation that they're not happy with, but that situation is actually what feeds them and pays the bills. All right, that's an entanglement. So during this phase, you're going to find solutions to those entanglements and ways to resolve those things. Let's move on to the message from the Orion Council. We added this to our lives because I wanted to give those that of Orion Starseed from their actual council. Each Starseed has a governing council. And so the Orion Starseed Council, and I wanted to share the message from each council. We're going to share it from the Orion Council, but the complete message will be on the Patreon. And so if you want to hear the complete message, you feel like this really resonates with you, please tap into the Patreon page, become a Patreon member. All this additional information, broader information will be available to you through the Patreon. The message from the Orion Council: release not what with fear, but with authority. You are not losing anything. You are reclaiming yourself. Let the weight fall away so your brilliance can rise. That is just part of the message. The complete message will be on the Patreon. Let's talk next about the Arcturians. These are Arcturian starseeds, right? The general overall message is recalibrating the light within. And this is happening during this last quarter moon, is a time for recalibration. Arcturians are the engineers of subtle energy, the architects of healing pathways, and the coders of conscious patterns. Sometimes it can get a little complicated trying to understand the reading, okay? But you have to understand how Arcturians operate on a higher consciousness level. If you need to know more about Arcturians, I did a video on Arcturians, their traits and characteristics. Please check it out on the main page, right? So during this last quarter moon, Arcturians are naturally attuned to recalibrating the inner field, clearing away emotional debris. You're going to be able to use this energy and the Arcturian traits to clear away those emotional debris, stabilizing your frequency, standing tall in what you are. We talked earlier about not fitting in, not connecting, right? Starseeds have this problem their whole life cycle. They feel distant. They feel like they can't relate to certain things, right? This is going to help you stabilize. During this time period, you can stabilize this energy so you're more confident in your differences. You're not made to fit in. You didn't come here to fit in. You came here to be who you truly are. And so using this energy of the last quarter moon and taking that Arcturian trait of characteristic and stabilizing your frequency, restoring your energetic order. This moon amplifies the talent for tightening up the spiritual system so a clean slate can emerge. This is all about cleaning up. We said earlier, this is the cleanup period before the full moon. So this is the last quarter moon before the full moon, and it's about cleaning up, using our Arcturian energy to kind of clean the slate and get ready for that, letting go of what was revealed during the half moon. I'm going to go back to these questions because I think they're important. They were revealed at first through the last full moon, because we're going into the new moon. The last full moon, you may have been asking, what will you do with the truth? What must be released so that your path can open? And what outdated timelines are finally ready to fall away? So, this moon, this last quarter moon, is about clearing that energy up so that you can move into the new moon. So let's look at the message from the Arcturian collective, right? The cycle completes itself. Do not resist the falling away. It is your liberation. Release with intention, and the next chapter aligns automatically. The complete message will be on the Patreon. Tap into the Patreon. I think it's free for the first 7 days, and then you can decide what membership tier you want, and that you'll get these complete messages during that time. So that is exactly everything we have right now during this reading. We are going to do another reading later on today at 3:30, and it will be Mercury entering Sagittarius. I hope something resonated with those or all of us that carry the Orion Starseed traits and characteristics, and the Arcturians, as we navigate this last quarter moon and understand how we're supposed to maneuver and grow in this plane of existence. I am truly appreciative you allow me to share this information with you. I hope it resonates somewhere in your life journey. I want to wish you love and light in your journey.